Hi, I am Jon Rogers. I am the Indiana Office of Technology's Director of Strategic Workforce Planning. We here at IoT have our wonderful State Earn and Learn IT program where we reskill adults from any walks of life into information technology and security careers. And there's no better way to show you how successful we are than to bring one or more of our SEAL IT associates in front of you. And today, it is my great privilege to be joined by Anthony Kim. Anthony,
Hello.
how you doing?
Doing fantastic.
Good deal. Can you tell us what you were doing before the SEAL program, and then what you're doing now?
Yeah, of course. So before this, I was a retail sales manager at a store called Mr. Guy. We kind of did a little bit of urban and streetwear sales and some casual clothes. So because of that, I got to meet a lot of interesting people, and I would definitely say that kind of enriched my opportunity, like just having to meet all kinds of people, where for like from someone that's working at a kitchen, like a hotel kitchen, or whether it's just someone from a lawyer or someone coming in. So it definitely widened my eyes to a lot of different people, for sure.
That's awesome. Now, there's, I think, a lot of direct correlation between retail customer service and working with IT customers. What did you learn before working retail that you brought to bear here on the SEAL program?
Just to approach everything with no bias.
That's great.
Like, whoever you're talking to, it's just, you have to keep in mind they're a person too, and you want to make their day great because that makes you feel good as well. And that's the best part, is just being able, like, if someone comes in a bit grumpy and I just give them a compliment about their clothes and stuff, it does a whole lot. So just seeing them smile is like, I feel good about today. I actually made someone else's day brighter too.
That's very good. And I apologize because I sort of stepped on your line earlier. So tell us what team you're serving on here at IoT now.
Yeah. So currently I'm working with desktop support managed by Steve, and it's fantastic working there. Everyone's like super nice. It surprises me how much people are like willing to teach you out of, like, without asking. Like, if something comes up, they're already next to me as a mentor throughout the whole time, guiding me. I'm just very grateful for that.
That's awesome. Big shout out to Steve Shepard.
Yeah.
He does a great job. So happy to have him and the entire desktop support team being a part of our SEAL apparatus. That's fantastic. Really glad you're having a good experience there. I'm curious if anything on desktop support or otherwise, has anything really surprised you in the course of your SEAL program?
Not exactly surprising in what they do, but it surprises me more on how much they touch in terms of how broad of a scope they interact with all the different agencies.
Sure.
It's one thing to hear on paper, hearing, oh, you're helping this amount of people, but when you're actually on the job, receiving tickets and working on job orders and interacting with, going to all these different agencies, you go, wow, I can definitely see, like, IDH or going to IDOA or INDOT, just all those different agencies, like, just being able to support them and see them being glad to be back on their job makes me that much happier as well.
That's awesome. And it's really kind of a unique thing when we think about that each of the other executive branch agencies almost like serving just a different kind of a business. So for our purposes, serving the executive branch is like being responsible for the IT for 100 different businesses, 100 or more different businesses with so many different missions, even from the ones that you mentioned right there, whether it's health or transportation or administration, all very different business areas. So it's really cool that you had a chance to see those already firsthand on the program. If you had to jump back in a time machine and go back to day zero, Anthony Kim, to tell him, hey, before you walk in the door to start the SEAL program, and after you've picked him up off the floor from the shock of the time machine thing, what would you tell him to before he got started?
I would tell them that there's nothing to worry about, that it might be intimidating just from being a new person with no background with IT in terms of like work experience, just a little bit in the hands-on like education, that you shouldn't be afraid to interact with everyone here because they treat you like family, like close friends.
That's great.
You don't feel any like exclusiveness, as they're very inclusive, they're very accepting, and don't be afraid to ask questions. There's a lot you can learn just by saying hello and just starting off the conversation from there.
That's awesome. I definitely, especially in the information technology space, I want to make sure that everybody heard you say that the strength of our inclusivity. I think that's a great part of IoT, the number of wonderful people and perspectives that everybody brings to bear here on the organization. It's been a real joy to talk with you. If you wanted to give anybody a closing thought, what would you say?
I would say definitely thank you to everyone from IoT Brooksource for just letting me have the opportunity to be here. And shout out to all my SEALs. They've been the best friends I've had so far, especially on a work program. It's like, I kind of forget that I'm actually working here sometimes and not just hanging out with my friends.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And it's my honor to sit down with Anthony Kim.